I'm gonna need you to lock in, ladies and gentlemen, for this video because California is still counting mail-in ballot votes. And now Nithya Raman, the Democrat socialist, is 1 percentage point behind Spencer Pratt after the latest batch of mail-in ballots came in, and somehow, remarkably, overwhelmingly, they seem to all go in her favor. And I shared with you guys in a previous video how on-the-ground independent journalists have been recording individuals paying homeless people to register to vote. I share with you a California sheriff speaking out about the fraud in California's election process. And now President Trump has had enough. He called out NBC host Kristen Welker and the liberal media for ignoring all of it. And so we got a lot to get into. As always, smash that thumbs up button. That's the best way to let me know you enjoy the content. For more, subscribe to the channel. Let's start right here.
LA County just released their latest batch. About 60,000 votes were just released by LA County. You can see things are tightening even more. Nithya Raman in third place for LA mayor was about 20,000 votes behind second place Spencer Pratt. That is now down to about 7,500 votes. So it is really getting close here. Spencer Pratt picked up about 10,000 of those 60,000 votes. Nithya Raman got about 24,000. And so we are now down to a 7,500 vote deficit between 2 and 3, with them estimated about 78% of the vote in. So there is still a large chunk of votes still to be coming. Real quick, in our last 10 seconds, Javier Becerra still won in the governor's race. Steve Hilton, Tom Steyer still more than 300,000 votes behind Steve Hilton. So it looks like this might hold. We will see as we continue to count the votes.
And so the longer this vote counting for these mail-in ballots continues to go on, the slimmer Spencer Pratt lead is becoming, we're seeing. And because California has the weakest ballot drop box laws of any state that allows ballot drop boxes for elections, these are the results. Now, many could argue this is exactly why they choose to have such lax laws with ballot drop boxes, and we're going to get into that in a moment. But first, let's get some more info on this election. Take a listen.
Yeah, it is. And listen, the world is watching very closely, but we all remember this is the way California does things. It's the reason so many House votes weren't, those races weren't called for days, for weeks in some cases. And California just says we're doing this very meticulously and just kind of give us our space. But even the Washington Post, which is not a conservative outlet, said, listen, this is a damning indictment against blue state politics, the way that you guys are handling this. That's from the Washington Post.
Yeah, actually, in the case of Pratt, who also is now, we're seeing, ballots coming back. Nithya Raman, she actually conceded a few days ago, like 4 days ago, and now suddenly she's up.
Yeah, and these keep tightening. And what we're told is, listen, a lot of these are mail-in ballots. They're going to come in later. Those tend to be more progressive. And apparently people held on to them to the last minute, California says. And again, California mails ballots to every single eligible voter out there. And so you've got millions of people who may be sitting on them. We don't know if they're coming back. So there's a lot of uncertainty built into this stuff with California. And by the way, the Supreme Court, we're waiting on an opinion from them about how long you can actually accept ballots in mail-in ballots after Election Day.
Right.
So might impact this.
And wow, even Spencer Pratt chimed in and he said, remember everyone, we are still in the lead and we've got all the way to July 6th to keep counting. They're not the only ones who know where to find votes.
Yeah, it's kind of a fascinating little system they've set up here where you've got 3 ways to vote. You can go, vote in a voting location, pull the lever, push the button, whatever you want to do. You can vote by mail. So when you vote by mail, the post office gets your ballot and they postmark it. Or you can do this amazing new invention called the vote drop box, where it doesn't get postmarked. You just put your vote in there and they'll come and collect your votes and then they add them all together. And then ta-da, you have all the votes you need. And what I find fascinating about this system is that in the first one where you vote in person, we know when that vote was made. when you put it in the mail, we know when it got put in the mail because it gets postmarked. But there's this magical new third category of votes that don't really have a date. And California law, by the way, says if a ballot doesn't have a legible postmark, as long as, they have a good faith reason to believe that it was cast in time, they have to count it. And so in this magical new California system, which is like totally safe and secure and not at all like designed to be rigged, you get counts on election night. So that tells you, hey, this is how much votes this guy has. And then we have the system where there's no way to date a ballot, and they're going to collect ballots for weeks. And we're supposed to believe that that's somehow a credible, secure, like normal way to do elections. There is only one reason to design an election in this way, and it's to control the outcome. Like, I'm sorry if that makes people mad to hear, but nobody would create a system like this if they wanted people to have faith in results. They created a system like this because they wanted to be able to engineer results.
And so here's the part I want you guys to understand, is that California is not the only state that allows ballot drop boxes. No, let's take a look. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Kentucky, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Ohio, Oregon, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, plus Washington, D.C. allow ballot drop boxes. But the big difference is none of them do it quite like California. Take a look at this. And so let's get into this right here. This comes from the National Conference of State Legislators, the ballot drop box laws for the states that allow ballot drop boxes. And so first, I want to let you guys in on how California, how they do it. And then we're going to check out a few other states, because California is not the only state that does ballot drop boxes, but they are unique in the way they do it. And so here it is, the drop box design and security features. This is what California requires. Must be secure, accessible, and locked, and available for at least 12 hours a day. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing else, nothing more. Now let's go to some other states. Colorado. It says the county clerk must adequately light all drop box locations and use a video security surveillance recording system to monitor each location. California does not require any video security surveillance recording system. Colorado does. Let's go to another state, Connecticut. Ballots must be collected from drop boxes every weekday. Each municipality must provide a video recording of each secure drop box from the first day of absentee voting until the last retrieval of absentee ballots at the close of polls. Another state doing video surveillance, because that's how you protect the integrity of an election, by at least recording and making sure that you have documentation of who is dropping off ballots. Let's check out some red states, because blue states aren't the only ones who allow drop boxes. Let's go to Florida. It says drop boxes must be secure. Drop boxes must be monitored in person, and except for those at the office of the supervisor, can only be opened during the hours of early voting. Drop boxes must be emptied every day. And so Florida, they're not even playing. It's not video surveillance, it's in person monitored. Let's go to Georgia. Georgia says the opening slot of a drop box shall not allow ballots to be tampered with or removed, and shall be designed to minimize the ability for liquid or other substances that may damage ballots to be poured into the drop box. A drop box shall be labeled official absentee ballot drop box, and shall clearly display the signage developed by the Secretary of State pertaining to Georgia law regarding who is allowed to return absentee ballots, and destroying, defacing, or delaying delivery of ballots. The drop box location shall have adequate lighting and be under constant surveillance by an election official or his or her designee, law enforcement official, or a licensed security guard. And so going through this, a vast majority of the states, at least from the information listed here, some of them do say not available when it comes to information. So that means, I guess, they couldn't find any actual procedures. But a vast majority of the states that allow drop box ballots, they also have some level of surveillance, whether it's in person or video security surveillance. That's really the only way you can at least help to guarantee, if you're going to choose to use drop boxes, a level of security and secure elections, and not have, your drop boxes looking like this in California. Take a look.
There it is. Will Durant Library on a Monday.
They're falling out. But good. It's a good thing. There's a line there that may already be full, but there is another drop box at 1301 West Olive Avenue, and it's like 5 minutes away. Okay. And there shouldn't be a line, and it should be able to.
The Jocelyn Center.
The Jocelyn Center. 1301 West Olive Avenue.
Can you put it in the mail now, or is it too late?
Oh, it's too late.
Okay.
Yeah.
So full that the ballots are literally falling out, this woman is letting us know. Nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen. Just a typical day in California, USA. Now let's go to President Trump, because he sat down with Kristen Welker and he spoke about the California elections, how it's going, and just, everything we've been seeing. And somehow the liberal media seems to just want to ignore. Check it out.
Fake, dirty press, the crooked press, people like stupid Biden. He's not smart enough to know what's going on, but people that surrounded him, surrounded his beautiful, resolute desk in the Oval Office. What they did to the lives of people, they destroyed people. They sent people to jail who did nothing wrong.
All right, just to be very clear, there's no evidence of what you're saying, but
There's
let me
a
ask
lot
you
of
about
evidence.
Todd Blanche. Let me ask you about
Listen
Todd
to me.
Blanche.
Listen to me.
Let's talk
There's
about Todd
tremendous
Blanche.
evidence. There's nothing
What's
but
not been
evidence.
presented
The election
in a
was
court of
rigged.
law.
It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's
President,
happening again right now in
never
California.
presented evidence
It's happening
that the
right
2020
now in
election was
California.
rigged.
Right now, look at what's
Where's
happening
the
in
evidence
California.
to that?
It's
The
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California. No, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with it.
That's how they count
You know
the
why they're
votes in
doing that? Because
California.
they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
All I have
that?
to do is look. All I have to
But
do is look.
that's not
And I
evidence.
listen. And I listen to people. And let's see what happens.
But, sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in
Do you
California.
think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a
State
winner?
and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the
crooked.
votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote
They're
in
crooked,
California.
just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Really?
Let's
Well,
continue.
you play right into their hands. then.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But, Mr. President,
you know why I
you've
got
never
that?
presented
Because you have no
evidence.
credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd
You
Blanche.
have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
Your
about
elections
you
in
went
this
to
country.
court.
We're like a third world country.
But, sir,
your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so
President-
is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President-
You're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know. I
I've sat in the
traveled
rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
We
great
traveled
with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we
Come on, let's
traveled
go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Wow. Wow. Hey, either you're crooked or you're stupid. You can't be both. Listen, when your election process allows for basically everyone who's on your registry to be sent out an election ballot without any type of verification process for when that person turns it in, because it can be turned in by whoever basically at a drop box that's not under any type of video security surveillance, in-person monitoring. You have ballots being lit on fire. You have ballots spilling out of the actual drop boxes that's supposed to be secure. Yeah, I think either you as media who should be investigating these things, that should be saying, there's something off about this. There's something that perhaps we need to investigate more. Pretty similar to how when Nick Shirley was in Minnesota and saying, hey, look at what's going on with all this fraud and it's kind of weird and everything going on here. Now all of a sudden, now you got mainstream media, CBS, ABC, now these other networks, now because it became trendy, now they're sending out their reporters, now they're knocking on doors, asking the questions about fraud in these businesses and the legitimacy. I mean, and so what do you expect when you see such blatant fraud that is being allowed to take place, but yet is being ignored by those who should, as the press, be seeking, the truth like they say they do. But many times it doesn't seem like that's actually what they're looking for. They're looking for the story, the narrative that best fits what they want you to hear. But those are my thoughts. Now, let me know what you guys think about what Trump did. You think he went too far? Do you think that he didn't go far enough? Drop your comments down below. I appreciate when you guys chime in. Don't forget you enjoyed the content. Smash that thumbs up. For more, subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.